Well, if you're going to catch this on the replay, if you're catching this on the replay, let me just thank you up front for doing that. Support group BSG, good to see ya. Thank you for giving us a thumbs up. How are you today? What's going on in your part of the world? Oh man, it is a blistering hot day today. But we just had a little storm pop up, give us a little bit of rain and a little cooler temp. You're doing all right? Good, good to hear it. Good to hear it. I'm a little tired myself today, but I am here. I'm trying to be here. Oh, wow. Yeah, no, nothing from the hurricanes or anything. It's just a little summer pop up. I mean, it, it didn't rain enough to get the downspouts wet, but it came in and cooled things off just 4 degrees. But a lot of clouds around us. I thought I'd sit outside and see if we can't get some magic going. So, all right, all of you wonderful people in the background, don't be shy, don't be wussies. Come forward, let us know who you are. Let us know if you have a YouTube channel. Make sure you give a thumbs up. If you're going to come here, you got to give a thumbs up. Or it won't cost you anything. I don't charge you anything for giving me a thumbs up. But you got like 1,800 of you people in the background. So just come forward, say your name, give a thumbs up. If you got a YouTube channel, let me know. Maybe we can help you grow it. Maybe. I don't know. But we can. We can try. Kanisha, hi, how are you doing? You're new to the live stream. Well, we're glad to have you. Thank you for subscribing and liking and sharing and going back and watching a bunch of our videos. We got over 1,000 videos. We do a lot of live streams. We try to do a lot of good work, is what we try to do. But thank you most importantly for being here. How are you? Let me ask. Where are you from, if you want to tell me? And what's on your mind? On my live streams, we don't discriminate against anybody, period. We talk about anything as long as it's not about doing bad things to little children. And we don't tolerate bullying, but we are open to discussion to anything. I have answers to everybody's questions. All right, so you lost your mom. I know my mom was pregnant. That's very sad. That's very sad. You look like a gangster. Thank you. Appreciate that. Gangster, how are you here? Good to have you. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for the thumbs up. Appreciate all of y'all kind people taking a moment out of your time to stopping by and visiting my channel. The channel that's the greatest one on the internet, I will have to say. I don't lie. I don't boast. I just tell it the way it is. You're from New York. Well, I won't hold being from New York against you. New York's not one of my favorite places, but I'm glad somebody's from there. I just have my grandma. All right, grandma's good. Grandmas are always good. So, I got a hummingbird. You guys know what hummingbirds are? Oh, they're just too fast. Hummingbirds are coming in to feed this time of the evening. Yes. Really look cool, pro. There you go. Well, we're glad you're here anyway. I'm glad you got a great grandma. Remember to tell your grandmother how much you appreciate them for doing all that they do for you. So, I still say we got a lot of people in the background there. You guys are all too shy to come forward and talk to a wise man. And but don't be shy. Please come forward. You're from Cairo, Egypt. Very cool. Birthday to be coming up. Okay, Grandma's birthday's coming up. What are you going to do for Grandma's birthday? Cairo, Egypt. Nice. I bet you it's warm there. Probably feels like, I don't know, I've never been there. But this time of the year, I would speculate that Cairo, Egypt is very warm. So thank you for being here. Thank you for the thumbs up. You don't know yet? Well, what does your grandma like? Does she collect anything? Now remember, grandmas usually don't want anything big and special. They just want something that comes from you. They just want something that comes from you. Our friend Eve, she said, it's not warm, it's hell. All right, well, I understand. Could be, I get you. I get you. You know, we have parts of the United States that a lot of people think are hell too. Out in the desert areas, you know, during the day in Phoenix and places, southern Florida can be quite warm. Today is quite warm. This whole week is supposed to be in the high 90s. No rain, except for we got some weird little pop-up shower that came up. So, all right, the winds, this looks like the storm has died down a tiny bit. So, what time is it? It is 6:43 p.m. where I am at. 6:43 p.m. I got to lower my sunshade. Let's knock the sun out a little bit. There we go. Maybe that will help. I'll probably have to fight with it. Try to get me some shade so I don't bake in the hot sun. 7:44. All right. Yeah. Yeah. New York is an hour ahead of us. That's better. Not so bad. Well, I don't know where my little dog went. I think she went back inside. She's wanted me to feed her, but it's a little early for me to be feeding her. So she needs to wait a little bit before I feed her. But, so do you like New York? Do you like Cairo? Is there, tell me one thing that anybody in here likes about where they live. You know, I haven't had dinner today. Just haven't been hungry, so I haven't eaten. We had lunch, and we had egg rolls for lunch. Egg rolls for lunch. If you want to travel to Egypt, don't ever come to Cairo. You can go to Sharm, Aqsa, or the North Coast. All right, that's good to know. Well, Egypt is far down on the wish list of places to travel. I like the store. You like the store in New York? What kind of store do you like? What is it? Is it like a Walmart? A Dillard's? A food store? Ooh, big birds. We live in the center part of America is where we live, so we have a lot of things going on. We got a bunch of people in the background. You guys don't be shy. At least give us a thumbs up for coming in. Subscribe to the channel. Food store. What do you like about the food store? Our friend in Egypt. What is it that you don't like about Cairo? Why would I not want to come to Cairo? What's wrong with it? Besides sounding like it's probably pretty busy. Never been, but Cairo to me seems like a very busy place. You like the fact that there's a lot of food? All right. But do you know the name of the store? BSG, I am still here. BSG, what's going on with you? Anything new? Anything exciting going on with you? Oops. Anything going on with your channel? Anything exciting or anything? So you're up to almost 4,000 subscribers, BSG. So if you guys haven't subscribed to them, please do. All right. So you have one dog. I have a dog. I had two dogs, but my dog died a few months back. So now we're down to one dog, and makes me sad. It's so hot. Cairo's hot. All right. But Egyptian women are pretty, so that's a good thing, right? Old English Bulldog. Nice, nice. Yeah, ours are wiener dogs or Dachshunds. Start Monday, gone to pool to work out. Okay, good. You're going to try to get some more exercise in, drop some more weight. I'm working on that myself. I don't have a pool. My doctor recommends to go swim, but there's really not a place to go swim around here that's not. We do have what they call senior centers or fitness centers, but they're so packed because we live in a heavily densely populated, or whatever you want to call it. So it's hard to find a time when you can get in there and actually swim. So I have been trying to ride my e-bike some. I'm not doing it today. My back's acting up, so I'm not going to ride a bike today. But I've been trying to ride my bike a few times a week, my e-bike. Now, if you're old like me and have health issues, e-bikes are great. So don't discount the thought of having an e-bike. Very good. Well worth the money. Well, they're kind of heavy. I did a video on the one that we have. They're kind of heavy, but once you kind of get going and used to it, they're not that bad. Well, that's pretty much what I do for exercise, besides milling around the house, just doing whatever, I can come up with. So, oh man. Well, that storm cooled things off about 4 degrees, but I was hoping it would go a little bit cooler. But that's all right. That's all right. But we've been busy. It's been a busy summer so far. Nothing too exciting, but it has been a busy summer. I don't think we've gotten anything done over the summer, or at least it doesn't feel like it. But it has been a little bit of a busy summer. It's been was a really wet one, and now it's hot. And we're not even supposed to have any rain for about another week to 10 days. Not more beautiful than American women, but Egyptian women love local industry. Well, what's funny is I'll tell you this. There's a psychology behind what we think is beautiful. So for you, maybe American women are beautiful because they don't look like Egyptian women that you see every day. For a lot of people that live in America, not that we think American women are ugly, but we think women from foreign countries are more exotic and more beautiful. Like my wife's from the Philippines, Egyptian women, Indian women, people from Colombia and Brazil, China, Thailand, Japan. So I think no matter what country you're from, you think there's another country out there that has the women are more beautiful. But let me follow that up with saying what's really important is that the women in your country are good people. Because sometimes American women can be not so good. So they may look good on the outside, but they're kind of poison on the inside, if you know what I mean. So that's one thing you got to be careful about with American women. But there are some beautiful ones, like the Sweeney chick who's doing the jeans commercials lately. Very typical blonde American girl, which most people equate with America. That's why they put her in the ad. She looks very much what you would think of an American woman would look like. And it's true. But as you get older and you get wiser, you come to realize and learn it's not all about the outer beauty, but the inner beauty. Because beauty fades, remember? How are you, Big L? Good to see you. Big Blue L in the house. Thank you, L, for how are you? How are you doing today? What's going on in your part of the world? Did you have a good day? Are you looking forward to the weekend? Today's Friday, by the way, I think. Yeah. Today's Friday. I don't know what we're doing this weekend. I hope not a whole lot because, excuse me, I'm not very energetic at the moment. Maybe I'll wake up tomorrow and feel more energetic, but I'm kind of tired. I didn't sleep great, so I'm kind of tired. So I might have to try to take it easy this weekend, but I doubt my wife is going to let me do that. She's probably going to go, "Oh, where are we going?" "Oh, where are we going? I just want to stay home and rest." But appreciate you all coming in, all the thumbs up. I always look energetic. Well, I might look it, but I don't feel it. I don't feel it. I can promise you that, but thank you very much. Today and yesterday have not been energetic. I got to admit, I feel banged up. I'm a little tired. I'm a lot older than I look. I know I look like I'm 21 and I'm really 25, but some days, you have good physical days and you have kind of bad ones, and I have a lot of bad ones. The last couple of days, but maybe tomorrow I'll feel better. I don't know. We'll have to see. But right now, I hope the wife doesn't want to go anywhere too exciting because, I usually do all the driving, and we've been to just about everywhere around us. And I mean everywhere around us. So that means we got to drive a couple of hours, and it's just a lot of work for me. But if she wants to go, I guess we will figure out something to do. I don't know. I hope she just kind of wants to hang out and rest. We got a lot of stuff we can do at the house. Clean the house, right? Do laundry. We got to go a little grocery shopping, not much. Just a smidgen of grocery shopping this weekend. We usually go to Sam's Club during the week. That's a warehouse, if you didn't know, a food warehouse, a big commercial warehouse for food and furniture and stuff. But on the weekends, it's too packed, it's too busy, it's too crowded, and I don't like going then. So, and we didn't do it this week, so we're looking at probably have to wait until next week. But other than that, I appreciate you saying I look energetic. I may look it, I don't feel it. Maybe that's the key. Maybe that's the key to success, right? I don't know. I don't know. A lot of crazy stuff going on in the world today. I haven't seen what happened between the two from. I haven't seen what's going on in politics today. I know our President Trump and Putin was meeting today. I do not know what came out of it. It looks like it's still ongoing. So maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that he can get them to convince to do a ceasefire and take a chill a little bit. But it looks like they may still be yakking and talking in Alaska. I don't know. Maybe at the end of the day, we will finally hear if there's any good news about that, about the war in Ukraine. I don't know, though. You understand? Every society and every culture has its advantages and disadvantages. I don't want to go into the subject in depth, but disadvantages you are talking about in your society. Well, yeah, look, I don't have a problem talking about the good and the bad and the ugly of any society, including America. I'm a firm believer in being honest. And we have a lot of good things in America. Otherwise, so many people wouldn't want to come here, right? But we have a lot of bad things. And what I try to explain to people that want to immigrate to America is it's very hard and expensive here. You know, the streets truly are not paved with gold in America. They're not. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Um, I don't know. I'll have to dispute a tiny bit. Let me say. I know you say that most of the marital relationships are built on materials first. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say that's not correct. Most relationships. Now, what you see on the internet and on TV, yes, you would think it's all about the money, right? But it's not. What it's really about is sex. Relationships in America start off because they want to have sex with each other, because they like the way each other look. Now, there are a lot of people that are only looking for the money, but that's not the majority. It's actually maybe 70-30. 70% of the people start their relationships off due to sexual desire. The other 30% are picky and choosy about the money. I'm not saying money doesn't play a factor in it, but what you do see on the internet all the time about all these women saying, I wouldn't date anybody who made less than $200,000, that's an outlier. The average American girl is happy to meet the right guy, you know, whether they have money or not, because we have a philosophy in the United States that you build things together. Now, when you're young in your 20s and you get married, you know, it's definitely all about the sex and nobody has money. And what you agreed to do is try to build success together. So I have to disagree with that a tiny bit. And we are big on equality. Now, I think, I'll tell you, I think equality's backfired, but there's still a large population, a very, very large population, that believe that men are head of the household, especially people that have religious beliefs. So they do believe the men are head of the household. Now, we do have a lot of crazy people you see on the internet, all right, and all over YouTube and Facebook, the woke people who are saying they don't need a man and, you know, that women are better than men and all this other crap. That's all over the internet, but that's not American reality either. That's not saying that we don't believe in empowering women in America, because we do. American women, they want equal rights. They want to be treated equally. Okay, then fine. The ones that do have a right to be that way. I'm a firm believer in, look, if you're a female in America and you want to be a CEO of a company, there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to go but here's the funny thing. Most of them want very high paying jobs, very public jobs. But very, very, very few of them want the really good paying jobs by doing manual labor. So HTN is in the house. How are you, Henry? So a lot of the girls shouting about equality is saying, I want to get paid the same as a man, but I only want to do what a female body can do. So they don't want to go lay brick and make 35 bucks an hour. They want to make 35 bucks an hour for working at Walmart at a cashier. It's not the same. So there is some kind of screwiness there. I would agree with that. Henry, you guys are getting a lot of rain in America and down in your part of the country. I'm doing just trying to relax. You guys saw a lot of rain the other day. We just had a short pop-up shower. Thank you for the thumbs up, by the way. Cooled off a little bit, but not much. It's been in the high 90s here all day, all week. It's going to be hotter. And then it doesn't look like the typhoon coming this way is going to amount to hill of beans. But I saw you guys were getting a lot of rain, a lot of rain. Strange says, I've never met a spokesperson for all women before. I don't know if I'm a spokesperson, if that's what you mean, for all women. I don't know if I can speak for women because I'm not a woman. I am a man. I identify as a man and only a man. I don't care what you identify as, but don't tell me I'm wrong by identifying as a man. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong if you identify as a cuckoo bird, but hey, whatever makes you happy, right? I think I understand what you're saying. I do. But what I mean is being a spokesperson, I can give my opinion and my thoughts, right? But I don't know if I can truly be a spokesperson for women. One, because they would never listen to me. So I might try to explain my perspective of a woman in America. And if they look at that in a positive way, that's great. If you look at it in a negative way, that's great too. So, but I'm happy to give my opinion and my thoughts on women, on men, on anything on the internet or in the whole entire world. I don't have a problem with that. And if American women like it or don't like it, well, that's up to them. Because I'm a firm believer that everybody has a right to believe whatever they want to believe. And I do think women are their own worst enemies a lot of times. I will say that. I think a lot of times people get in their, and I'll say people in general, but I really think women get in their own way. But people in general get in their own ways. So, but thank you for recognizing that. I try not to take credit for speaking for everybody, but I just speak my thought. Painting everyone with a broad brush is always right. Well, I think you're wrong, of course. And you know that, and I know what you're doing, and I know you're wrong, and you know you're wrong. You cannot paint everybody with the same brush, but a broad one, sure. What can we say? We can, I guess. Let's analyze that. I can paint a broad brush and say, hey, everybody that's on YouTube has the internet. Woohoo! There you go. Problem solved. I can say the majority of people that live in Asian countries eat rice. So that's a big broad brush, right? But to get down to the small details, because I don't speak for anybody but myself, and I think that's okay. And maybe I paint everybody with a broad brush. I don't know. I don't really care. I don't care if people paint me with a broad brush. I'm probably a very, Henry can attest to this. I'm probably a very average American guy. I'm probably, if you lined me up and you picked out everybody else that was like me, there'd probably be millions of us. Because I'm very much the typical guy. I think anyway. So, but it's good to have you here. I'd love to have your thoughts and opinions. They would have to what? What would they have to do or be? But, here's the thing we got to realize no matter what, with all the different people in the world, we couldn't live, our world wouldn't be the same without them. Well, of course, I'm very broad. Of course. Because it would be rude of me to pick out one female and pick her to piece, or one man and pick her a piece. So, and everything is, you can't paint everybody with the same brush. But, and I guess you got to look at the numbers, right? Whether you're talking about a macro level or a micro level. And I'm talking about the numbers on a macro level, not a micro level. So if I said everybody in my town, that would be a micro example compared to everybody in the whole entire country. And so when you look at the numbers there, the brush is not as broad as you think it is because the numbers are so large. HTRN says, hey, you know what? I stand out in the crowd. Lucky me. Well, it depends on where you're at. Yeah. I mean, I stand out in the crowd, I guess, because I wear tropical shirts a lot and hats. And, I get a lot of people that think that's interesting. I try not to stick out in a crowd too much, but when I travel, I kind of stick out, especially to Asian countries. But it's all right. Everybody has a, that's one of the good things about the world. And I know most places, let me take that back. There's a lot of places that you cannot voice your opinion or your thoughts. There's a lot of countries you can't do that. There's a lot of religious groups that you can't do that. A lot of societies, sub societies, micro societies. But on a whole, I think it's great that people can express themselves on a whole. So, but yeah, I mean, kind of the way it is, right? So how much rain are you getting, Henry? Are you guys, is it just rain after rain after rain after rain, or what's going on? Did you ever figure out your house situation? We're still stuck in traffic. Um, I had doctor's appointment this week. I got a whole bunch more coming up in the next 3 or 4 weeks. So we don't have my defibrillator pacemaker scheduled to be swapped out yet. Still waiting on that. Been raining off and on, bad lightning storms and stuff like that. Nothing really major. Yeah. I saw it on the map, is why I was wondering. I saw it. And I haven't seen today's tracking of that hurricane, but from the last I saw of that hurricane, it looked like it was going to go up the coast of the Carolinas. You're going to go back and look at two different houses, one by the river and one by another river. All right. All right. I keep looking at houses down in the Foley, Alabama area, knowing that I probably won't get there anytime soon. But I keep looking at Zillow and Realtor.com and checking things out just to keep up with the market. In short, America or Western countries are general have many opportunities to work and live a good life from a financial standpoint, even if their income taxes prices are too high. However, as our society, it has advantages and disadvantages just like any other country. It does. But what I try to get across to people that don't live in America, America's not as the people. Okay, the people, the average. Do you know what the average person in America, like me, we're not rich like we are portrayed on TV and the internet. There's a large, large poor population, and everything costs a lot of money here. We have to pay everybody. Everybody gets a cut of the pie. Makes your paycheck that you bring home. If you bring home, if you made $1,000 a week, you're going to be lucky to bring home 600 of that $1,000. You're going to be lucky to get that. What I will say, if you're industrious, if you're hardworking, you stick your nose to the grindstone, you don't become an alcoholic or a drug addict, you mind your own business and you work really hard, absolutely. You can make a really good life in America, but don't expect that you're going to be living in a mansion in Florida or California. That's not the norm here. People in America actually live below the average or get paid less than the average. Yeah. It takes two people working full-time jobs in America to afford an apartment here. Something a lot of people don't realize, and I tell people all the time this, I would rather be a professional making, and I'm going to use the Philippines because I know their numbers really well. A school teacher in the Philippines, on a good school teacher, will make $400 a month in the Philippines. Now, and that's to work and take care of a family. And they can live on that. They can manage on that. But you got to make, God, 10 times, 12 times that in America to live on. So I tell people all the time, I would rather make $400 in the Philippines, live comfortably, than I would try to make $4,000 a month, $4,800 a month, and struggle in America. Go shopping, food, yeah, go shop, yeah, I agree with you. Food's coming down, I think, but you can spend a lot of money, especially if you got a family. Yep, you can get up or do a really good job, especially in construction, welding, things like that. You can make a really good living for yourself. Nurses, professionals, but I'm just telling people. I know everybody wants to come here because they think it's the land of gold. It's just not quite that easy. As for Egypt, the advantages of society are more than disadvantages. Others and strangers help you when you're asking without compensation, and always there's an industrious, correct, but not equality, because the two different things cannot be equated, such as men and women. Each of them has abilities and tasks as a human nature. However, there are no job opportunities. Gotcha. There are no job opportunities, and a good life in Egypt like in America and the West. Well, let me ask you this: How much? What? What is what's a good job in Egypt? Tell me how, is a construction worker a good paying job? Is a school teacher a good paying job? Is it the guy that collects the garbage? Is it a police officer? What is it that people want to be in Egypt that makes them go, yeah, I want to strive to get to that position? I want a job doing A, B, or C because that's going to allow me in Egypt to provide my family with a decent life. And that's what you have to understand. There's a difference between a good life and a decent life. The majority of Americans struggle. Then there are the people that make a decent life, kind of like myself. I've been blessed. But we definitely do not make a good life. So there's kind of those hierarchies. Then there's the people that are just lucky or they got a specialized talent and they make a very, very, very good life. So, what do people strive to be in Egypt? Or does everybody just strive to pack their bags and get out of the country? And America is a great country. If it wasn't, not every, all the people that want to sneak across the borders and come here, they wouldn't want to come here. So there are a lot of pluses and minuses here. But now there's a lot of things that are changing in America. A lot of people don't understand that thanks to the new administration, the freeloading isn't going to happen anymore. So you're not going to get free insurance and free food and free benefits and free education anymore in America. If you're not a productive member of our society, no matter where you're from, even an American citizen, you're not going to get a free ride in America anymore. And I know that has attracted numerous amounts of people over the last 50 years. Oh my God, I can go to America and I can get this and I can get that. I can go there and I can do this. But that's changing because a lot of us, people like myself and many others, are tired of supporting that. We don't like that because if the average Joe, what we call here an average person in America, has to get up every day, bust their ass to bring home enough money to feed their family, to try to put their kids through school, and I mean public schools, not college, just because it's expensive to have your kids in school in America. I know a lot of other places they got to pay for their schooling too, but American schools are expensive. You got to understand this. So a family can spend a lot of money keeping their kids in public schools. So they got to make a lot of money, and it's a struggle here. And a lot of the free rides are drying up, and it's going to dry up. And I think that's okay. I don't think society should be designed to reward bad behavior. I'm a firm believer in rewarding good behavior. If you're willing to get a job and work and build yourself up, then society should be willing to help you up. As I call it, giving a hand up, but not a hand out. And our American culture and society over the years have been really big on giving handouts. And that needs to end or this country will not be a success. And then we don't get to reward good behavior when we do that. And I just think it's important that we reward good behavior. I worked all my life until my heart gave out and I couldn't work. So I had to go on disability, but I had a career and I saved my money and I worked hard and I invested. So do I have a lot of money? No. That's why I'm trying to raise money to buy my wife a house in case anybody wants to donate to my PayPal account. I am a poor old guy trying to buy my wife a house. PayPal account link is on the YouTube channel, by the way. But it's up to you. But we have a large homeless population here. Some of it's due to mental health issues. Some of it's due to laziness. Some of it's due to entitlement because it's easier to do nothing and get things given to you than it is to work for something. But I'm a firm believer that we become better human beings when we strap up our boots and we go to work and we try to earn our own living. That's what I think and feel. So, don't get me wrong, America's a great country. People are good people here too. You have good and bad here. What I'll tell you about the people when you're talking about helping one another, what you got to understand is our country is so large and it's broken up into many demographics. I will say, for instance, like where Henry is down south, people traditionally are more friendly and more helpful to one another than they are up north. And I think there's a lot of different reasons for that. One is weather. People that live in New York and Chicago where it's cold and, they ain't got time to be messing around because it's too damn cold. Hospitality is not the same in every part of the country. Californians, they think you got to think the way they think or you don't get any help. Southerners, will traditionally help people just because. Midwesterners are the same way. They're not as friendly. Midwesterners are people that kind of mind their own business more. Unless they're asked, they don't stick their nose in. Southern people are nicer. If they see somebody with a flat tire, they might pull over and say, hey, can I help you? Midwesterners, kind of like myself, yeah, I'm kind of borderline Southern Midwesterner. So it all depends. But a lot of Midwesterners, you got to say, hey, can you help me? Then they will stop and help. I'm pretty much retired myself. I had it hard since I was 6 years old. I had it until my motorcycle accident. Yeah. You know, I tell people all the time, I hate not having a job. I think it's the worst thing for me psychologically is not to have a job. I think people ought to have something to do that's productive. That's why I do this YouTube channel. Not only to buy my wife a house, but to give me something to do. Because I taught for so long. There's a bug over here bugging me. And this is kind of like holding class. Yeah, state by state, But what we're taught in America, in different places, like the South, you're taught it's okay to be nice and helpful. If you go up north, you're taught to keep your mouth shut and mind your own damn business. That it's none of your business. Hey, there's Joseph. Josephine, how are you? Joseph, how are you? Paige, good to see ya. Well, there's that handsome feller. That's me, by the way. How are you, man? What's going on, Paige? JP in the house. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for the thumbs up, by the way. What's going on in your world? Tell me what's on your brain. Anything exciting? Sad? Anything? Any problems I can solve for you? I come on here to solve people's problems. I'm the oracle of wisdom. Not yet. We're stuck in Arkansas, Joseph. We're kind of stuck in traffic. And I currently don't know how to get unstuck. And, another hummingbird. And sometimes I guess it's okay to be stuck in traffic because I got to have a medical procedure. I got to have my pacemaker changed probably in late October, November. So we got to have that done here because of my heart specialist. Two, the home interest rates are so high until Trump beats his head in and gets interest rates down. It's not going to do me any good. So my wife likes her job, makes good money. I'm miserable, but we're just kind of stuck in traffic. I know Americans are not rich and that there are crises due to some stupid political decisions, but foreigners or immigrants to America, situation is very good for them compared to, well, not anymore. The foreigners, the illegals are out of here. So if you're here legally, then you have as much opportunity as I do, as long as you're here legally. Got laid off, oh my God, about 2 months ago. So playing the find a new job game. What kind of job are you looking for? Situation they had in their homeland, I understand that. Therefore, you've noticed a large percentage of immigrants becoming financially better off than Americans themselves, no matter how bad the situation in the homeland. Yeah, and whoops. I don't have a problem with immigration as long as they do it correctly and they provide a service. But if I immigrate to Egypt, wouldn't you want me to be a productive member of your society and add to your society? And I think that's all Americans want. We want people to add to the culture. Hey, there's my good friend David's Island and Life Adventure. You guys might want to subscribe to his channel for me if you would. How are you, man? It's been a while. What's going on in your world? What's going on, man? It's Friday here. It's cool. Starting to cool off. It's in the high 90s today. We had a little shower, so I thought I'd come out here and sweat in the heat. So, but yeah. But Paige, yeah, JP, we are just kind of stuck in traffic. I don't know when or how, but we definitely want to get out of this. I want to retire to the Gulf Coast. So I need to get out of here, but I don't know. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it, to be honest. I'm at loss. David says, work and family, brother. Yeah, I know. It's always something, right? Life gets busy when you have wife, kids, jobs. Luckily I don't have a job, but I have a lot of other things going on. So, not cool where you're at, JP? All right, well, it's not cool here, man. It's in the high 90s all week. It's going to be a hot, horrible week. I thought with the storm front that came in and dropped a little rain, and I mean a little rain, I thought it might drop the temperature, but it rained for about 2 minutes and then went away, and I think it's more miserable now than ever. But the other thing I say is maybe somebody who has, a philosopher's mind in a sense, why don't everybody who's unhappy with their homeland, because we're unhappy with our homeland, right? And you do see Americans leaving the United States for other countries. But you also see a lot of people just trying to make it better. And that's kind of what I mean. Sometimes it's better to try to make your own situation in your own country better than coming to a different country, a different culture, a different world, and trying to be all you can be all you can. Yeah, kind of same here, man. It just kind of, it rained for about, just didn't even get enough to get the pavement, permanent, we will let. So I had to water the plants, but yeah, now it's a little warm, but it's all right. So I tell people all the time, I think sometimes it's in your best interest to make your own personal situation better. And I tell people this, and you guys have all heard this before, I have an analogy that I believe in. It's the same thing you hear about when you fly on an airplane. What do you hear? In case of emergency, when the oxygen masks drop, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to put it on yourself first before you can help anybody else. And it's kind of the same thing. Before you come to America or any other country, you need to be in good standing in your own country. I will say we have a lot of, which we're happy, we have a lot of people not in good standing in America who's running off to other countries, which we as Americans are happy about that, but I'm sure the other countries are not. So we're happy to, a country is happy to get rid of the bad, but they don't want bad in return. So that's why we hope everybody will be a productive member of society. It's the same thing when I lived in the Philippines. I tried, and I didn't do much, but financially, I was an addition to their society financially. So I was not a burden. And what a lot of people don't understand, one wrong turn, one twisted ankle, one broken finger can put you in the poorhouse in America. You are the majority, and I will say the majority of people in America are living paycheck to paycheck. They are one paycheck away from being homeless. That's the reality of America. And if that's okay with you, and if you can come here legally, then we welcome you. We love having people here legally, especially people that are productive to society. JP says America has been built and made better from legal immigration. Absolutely, from dawn of times. The immigration since the beginning, absolutely. Only the last decade or so has it been crippled by illegal immigration. I agree. I agree. And I'll go a step further, JP. I say what really crippled us or got us to this point is not only the fact that because you couldn't have this without, well, we can't have one without the other. But the biggest problem is the illegals and then the services that they get from America for being here. And so we're rewarding bad behavior, which set the tone for more and more and more and more and more. And so it's one thing to be here be illegally, but you shouldn't have any help to be here in any way, shape, or form. If I snuck into Thailand, you think the Thailand government is going to reach out to me and say, gee, what can we do to make your stay in America or in Thailand better? They're not. They're going to say, pack your shit and get out. But that's been the problem. You gotta, how it's been handled is the big problem. Because we've always had illegals here from the dawn of ages. Legal, whenever the legals were here, we had the illegals also. But the fact that we have gone crazy, apeshit crazy, American citizens don't like that concept. Ozzy's in the house. Good to see you, Ozzy. How are you? What's going on in your world? Ozzy, my good friend David from Islands Life and Adventures in the house. If you haven't subscribed to them, JP's in the house, Henry's in the house, a bunch of other folks. We got somebody in from Cairo, Egypt in. So that's what I see as the carry on. Hanging in there? All right. Me too. My back's in bad shape today, to be honest. I didn't sleep well at all. Tossed and turned a lot. Didn't sleep well. And today's never been any better. So my wife's at work. Today's Friday. And I'm trying to get the back to, lighten up. Happy to do it, David. Happy to do it. Nice. But other than that, man, I was telling them earlier, I just don't know what my wife's going to make me do this weekend. Having back problems. Yeah, I had to go to the doctor this week and regular follow-up, but I got a lot of things going on this year. That's why we can't move because why I feel like we're stuck in traffic because, between everything in society and financial and everything. So I got my test results from my blood work back and, let's say 90% of it was okay. So we got 10%. So I got some other appointments I got to go to in September. And I meet with my heart specialist, my heart surgeon, in September so that they can get ready to change out my pacemaker. So I have a pacemaker defibrillator. and they're estimating the battery's going to start alerting me in September, early October. So I'm really excited about getting that over with because, a lot of times I feel like I'm just waiting for it to go beep, beep. I don't want to like go on a big trip in September or October, and I know that I got like 90 days or 60 days after the pacemaker starts to alert you that the battery needs to be changed. You got 60 days before you have any issues. But yeah, but this week it's back problems, and I don't know why. I don't know. Got some kidney issues flaring back up. What I'll tell you guys is, because I'm not too shy about things, is you guys all know that I got really sick some years ago, and I was in a coma, died, all of that good stuff, right? And as part of that, what happened was I have a thing called porphyria. Porphyria is kind of like the vampire disease. You're allergic to vitamin D. So your body doesn't process vitamin D correctly. That's one of the problems I have. I have a lot of issues, but that's one of them. And so what happens is I'm watching the hummingbird. You guys won't be able to see it by the time I get you there. Let's see. I was going to try to show you the hummingbird. Maybe I'll just turn the camera over here. I want to show you guys the hummingbird when it shows up. So let's change the angle a little bit. You guys won't mind. So I'm allergic to vitamin D. But what happens is, and I don't know, I don't remember because of my brain damage, my squishy brain syndrome. But pretty much what happens is my blood gets contaminated. My kidneys can't process all of the things that's going on. So over time, I will build up toxins in my blood and my kidneys. And that's actually what led me to the coma. So they told me it'd take about 10 years before the porphyria starts to kick in again. And it just started. So I have these blisters. What happens is you're allergic to the sun. Whether you're out in the sun or not, it doesn't matter. It's the vitamin D. It can't process it correctly. So therefore, I wind up having blisters all over me. And my last couple of years of teaching, I had to wear gloves literally because I would bleed everywhere. So it was not a good thing. Let me get caught up on the chat. Now in America, and the president is the former Secretary of Defense. Now in America, and the president is the former Secretary of Defense of the Army, and every state is ruled by. No, okay. Our president, which is Donald Trump, has never been in the military. So we do have a military guy who is the Secretary of Defense, if that's what you mean, but that's not the president. So just clarify that. In every state, and I got to correct you, no, every state is not ran by the military in America. That's not how it works at all, by any stretch. What you've been seeing is the District of Columbia, which is not a state, is actually federal property, has been retaken over by the federal government, been federalized to clean it up and to make it safer for all of us to go to. So maybe that's, there's the hummingbird. See the hummingbird? You got to look up above the roof. See that blue thing hanging there? Yeah, national income of your country is, and where the money goes, loans. Yeah, we are a borrowing society, and it's not a good thing. Yeah, it's definitely not lupus. It's porphyria, and then of course I have heart failure, and it leads to kidney failure, and I also have a lung disease called sarcoidosis. So, but what it means is by starting to get these blisters again, I'm on my way to having my kidneys go bad in, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years until they shut down again. So bridges and places, etc., and anything that is not useful and has no income, such as industry, agri, etc., if you are express your opinion and talk about the president. We can talk about anything. I don't know where you're kind of going at that. If you're, we have rights in America to say anything we want to say. It's called free speech, First Amendment, and nobody can do anything about it as long as you're not inciting fight or fighting words or a riot, like hauling fire in a large theater. You can have your own opinion, and nobody. Now you got to be willing to stand up for yourself. You got to be willing to listen to people with opposite opinions and to argue with you. But that's what America is. We can criticize the government any day we want, and we do. We criticize the government every 10 seconds in America. We like to criticize the government. It's a national pastime to bitch about the government in America, to bitch about law enforcement, to bitch about the banking system, to bitch about how bad the roads are, the bridges are, the schools are. We love to bitch in America. So just be aware of that. We have no problem with expressing our opinion. Nice to say, dang, so sorry to do that. That's all right. I'm used to it. If you tried drink, what? Have you tried drinking hummingbird food before? Yeah, it's sugar water. Why would I want to do that? A friend of mine did, thinking it was Kool-Aid. Well, it's basically just sugar water, and we make our own. I make my own. A little bit of honey, a little bit of sugar, shake it up. I heat it up. I actually heat it up. So if I got any molasses, I might throw some of that in. That's all it is. It's just sugar water. But no, I'm never drinking it. I don't want to do. The president's faults and that he is a failure and that he drowned the country in debt. Well, the president didn't, our current president didn't put us in debt. It's been over generations, to be honest, over the last 50 to 70 years. 6,000 a month, for example, you need to meet. Yeah, it's not cheaper. So are you saying Egypt is like this? Because America isn't like this. I understand in a lot of police states, that's the way it is. America's not a police state. No matter what you hear on the internet, it's not. I can go to any state I want. I don't got to show ID. Now, if I got to fly on the planes, I got to show ID. But I can get in my car and drive all over the country and never show my ID. I get, so. Well, there's our good friend from Mike and Venus channel. How are you, WM? W. Good to see. He's got a really big channel. He does a lot of big live streams. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for the thumbs up, by the way, everybody, and subscribing to the channel. And Egypt, which has the mines and the wealth that put in the ranks of the countries. Yeah, and I understand that. A lot of countries are that way. Who has the money makes the power and controls the military. Actually, sad, needed more sugar at almost per sugar. I know. Oh, he's talking about Egypt. Yeah, I got that. I kind of finally put that together about America. Yeah, telling you, imagine that you are. Well, we are in America. Yep. No, I understand. I understand that America and a lot of countries are way different. You know, but all we can do is take care of what we do here. Well, yeah, Henry survived Katrina. We have good and bad here. Now there are times that we can invoke martial law if we need to. We have that on the books. But I know what you're saying by Egypt and India and Pakistan and many other countries. They are ruled, by a minority who have the money. It's kind of like that. What's that? I was going to show you the hummingbird again. keeps coming back. What's the rule? The one who has the gold makes the rule, you know? And I think that's everywhere, everywhere. Yeah, Katrina was a shit show, and there was so many. And I'm a big believer in getting rid of FEMA. I've never liked FEMA. I never thought FEMA was done correctly. I believe and I know there's a lot of waste, fraud, and theft involved in fundraising and crisis management or disaster management is a great way for certain people to make a shitload of money. But there shouldn't be a middleman when it comes to the people on the ground. And we've seen numerous times that FEMA has told locals, no, 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 you can't do that because we don't want you to do that. Well, who in the hell are you on a globe or a macro level, tell us on a micro level what in the hell we need to do in our own town? So, yeah, I saw the same thing during COVID. I agree. Yeah, we don't want FEMA to come in. I actually, in the capacity that I worked way back then as an OSHA compliance guy, um, I was recruited to go work in boots on the ground um, after Katrina hit for the chemical hazards. I was an expert in chemical waste, and so I was recruited to come down and do that. But somebody said, "Now wait a minute." My college for one didn't want me to go, but two, we had federal employees say, "Now wait a second. The better way David can serve us is that if we send people to his classroom and let him teach 50 people and send 50 people down there." And that's what I did. I taught a lot of classes for safety in the cleanup of hurricanes is what I did. And so I didn't go down. I didn't get in the way. But they would ship people up here to my part of the country. I would give them a week's crash course in it, and ship them out. And I think I did that for 4 or 5 weeks, 50 students at a time. So, and there was others like me that did it. But, and I don't know who paid for that. I don't know. I know I charged them a small fortune to do it, but I don't know who paid for it or how all that worked. But yeah, we had people in the government here recommend that I go down and lead a team in the chemical cleanup, and then somebody got the bright idea, nah, it'd be really better if David just teaches everybody here and send them down to run multiple teams. So that's what we did. But I can't imagine what people. I mean, we went through Typhoon Odette in the Philippines, survived it, and um, I don't know if it was all a cluster. So I can only imagine. Can only imagine. And then, of course, you got to raise the question: is all right? National law came. In the Philippines, when Super Typhoon Odette hit us, and kicked the living snot shit out of us, there was no military. There was no nationalization of the laws. There's no nothing. It's a freaking free for all. People stealing and taking this and price gouging without any recourse. In the Philippines, I was I guess I knew it, but I will admit that I was a little shocked by, I guess I didn't realize, even though I knew it, what it really meant when there was no support system in a country during a national disaster. As living in the middle of the desert, riding camels to work, and killing others. Hannah Mae's in the house. Everybody subscribe to Hannah Mae. You haven't built your channel yet. I forgot about that. Our good friend Hannah Mae is up in the land of Seattle. So how are you tonight? Thank you for coming in. We appreciate you. Thank you for the thumbs up, by the way. But every country has its good and its bad. And what I encourage you guys all to do, yes, and I know that there's some countries out there that are absolutely horrible. But all you can do is make the best of your personal situation, is what we have to try to do. That's what I try to tell people. Make the best of your own personal situation. I know it sucks to live in North Korea. I know it sucks to live in different countries. I know parts of Russia sucks. I know parts of the United States suck, Mexico, the Philippines. But one thing I'll tell you is if you don't know any better, and I tell you guys, and I really want you to understand this who don't live in America, you can't believe what you see on TV about the United States. That's not reality. So I believe it's better to make reality in your own world and to make your own small world better and survive that because yes, America can be great, but it can be worse. Ozzy saying hello to Hannah Mae. Hannah Mae, you got a fan saying hello to you. Galactic Gaming, what's up? How are you, my friend? What's going on, man? Are you in America yet? System of government, but at least its advantages should outweigh its disadvantages, and disadvantages should be locked. Yeah. All right. What I'm going to tell you is your problem is you're saying you're using the word logic and government. They don't work. I, and this may offend a lot of people, but I'm going to just flatly tell you what I think. There is no logic in anything. Very little logic in anything. There's motivation, not logic. Governments are motivated by power, not logic. The Smith-Mundt Modernization Act of 2012. How things been? These days have been flying by so quick, so busy all the time. I go to Vegas on the 26th. Nice. Congratulations on that. That's right around the corner, by the way. Things are going okay. My back's acting up today, so I'm a little out of it, but that's all right. Whatever the topic you want it to be, my channel we can talk about anything. I will answer any question. I will give advice. I won't even lie about it. Yeah. So that's what we're doing, Galactic. Had to pull rank on some of those people because they were raiding houses. Yeah, I know, man. I know, Darren Katrina. I know, man. That's why the local people need to be in charge. I'm a big believer in that. And I do believe I was an incident commander in the hazmat world. And incident command should be the way it is, but it should be done at the local level. You shouldn't have a federal employee who's never been to the state of Kentucky, Alabama, Louisiana, Texas, wherever the hell he's not ever been, coming in and telling you how to do things. 11-hour flight, not 11 flight. Man, that's a flight for wussies, man. When we go to the Philippines, shit. It takes us 2 days to get to the Philippines. I don't want to hear about your wimpy ass 11-hour flight. Come on, man. Suck it up. Suck it up, Buttercup. It was a pleasure talking to you. You're a very cultured and wise man. Well, I don't know about that, but thank you for the compliments. I appreciate that. It's good talking to you. I love having you. I love having different opinions and different thoughts and different concepts going on. I think it's fascinating to hear different perspectives because I've never walked into your shoes, so I don't know what you go through. So I like it. So welcome to come back anytime. If you got thoughts, other questions, if you want to know details about something in America, let me know. I'll tell you what I know. May not like what I tell you, but I'm going to tell you what I know. Ozzy likes that, right, Ozzy? So, yeah, I know about the 11-hour, stinking 11-hour flight. Man, I'm not even going to entertain your pussy ass 11-hour flight. We spend 14 hours in the air in one way, buddy. That's just to get from here to the Philippines. I'm not even talking about 11 hours. So, but we're thinking about doing the Vegas trip. I don't know. My wife's driving me crazy because she's got a bunch of things coming up, and we're poor, and we got a wedding anniversary, and she'd like to go all she'd like to do it up big, but I don't feel like spending a bunch of money. So, but I looked at doing another Vegas trip, but I don't know, to be honest, because she doesn't want to do a cruise. So here's my problem. We got a wedding anniversary coming up in a few months that I got to plan something for. Then in the spring, my wife has one of those very special birthdays that she's gonna want to go hog ass crazy on, right? And then my wife next summer is wanting to go on a European cruise. So money, 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 me no have. So I got to figure out how to pay for all of this crap. My normal holidays are in places like Spain, which are only, see, wussy, take the easy way out, man. You'll like Vegas. You're gonna have a good time. You're gonna have a good time, man. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. There's a lot to do in Vegas. So I've been looking at like 3 day vacations, a weekend vacation in Vegas for our wedding anniversary. We've been to Vegas before. So, fly in. It's only probably a 3 hour flight from here. So, hang out for a couple of days at one of the nice hotels, do some shopping, eating, and flying home. Of course, I will come to America. One day I would try to smash burgers and smoked meat. Wow. You want a smash burger and smoked meat. All right. Well, I will say that I like food from all over the world. I'm a big, like we talked about with women earlier, remember? I explained to him earlier about women, guys, that he thinks our friend in Egypt likes how beautiful American women are. I told him that Egyptian women are beautiful. And I told him, I said, it's the whole same thing that the women from other parts of the world are more beautiful than the women in your part of the world because we're used to it. Now, look, don't get me wrong. I like smoked meats. Barbecue, American barbecue, you can't go wrong with it. Smash burger, it's all right. Not wrong with a hamburger. I mean, it's nothing to write home about. But I could see coming from Egypt where those would be interesting things for you to try, and you should try them. Because we have a lot of great food in America. Unless you've eaten it all your life, then it's kind of like, oh yeah, whatever. Another damn hamburger. So, or, let me go get some Now, we have some good barbecue joints, and that's hard to find. Now, I think all Americans will tell you, man, if you can find some good barbecue, you're doing good. But we smoke meat individually. I got a lot of friends that smoke meat. I smoke meat. I got a smoker. And a lot of gourmet hamburgers in America. You should try the pizza, because, American pizza is better here than anywhere if you go to the good places. I don't know. Everybody in the background, you guys tell me one thing that somebody from Egypt who's never been to America should try. And also, what should Galactic Gaming do in Las Vegas? So we're looking for two things. A recommendation for Galactic Gaming, our good friend, to do something in Vegas while he's here. And two, if you're from Egypt, what would you recommend that they eat in America? That's what I like. I like white women with green eyes and blonde hair. See, there you go. That's a Sweeney chick. And you like women with brown eyes and whitish skin. Look, to be honest, I think all women are beautiful. I don't think there's a country that makes ugly women on the outside. I don't. I think every country has beautiful women. I like dark black women and white women, the freaking Irish women, the Filipino women, of course. I think there's beauty in every freaking woman there is. I do think Indian women are beautiful. Egyptian women, of course. Spanish, Spain. Even some German women are not bad looking. So my favorite, I guess, is Asian-ish. I've never been to Vegas. All right, so obviously he's never been to Vegas, but what do you think he had to try? Look, if we got to go to Vegas again, The last time we were there, we didn't get to eat fish and chips at Gordon Ramsay's restaurant. I would want to try to do that. You know, you must try kaffa and kosheri. What are those things? What are those things? I don't know what those are, so tell me what those are. But here's the key. What men really like about women, you know what the most attractive thing, and I tell guys this all the time because I got a lot of friends that get stuck in their head about women. Here's the key. If you want to be happy with a woman, you need to go with the woman that wants to be with you. When a woman wants to be with you, then you're going to be happy versus chasing the ones that have a nice booty or nice boobs or pretty green eyes. You got to latch on to the one that wants to be with you. We really have a blonde woman with green eyes. I understand that. And the opposite is true in America. Something different is always attractive. That's right, they are. Craig says an AR 15. Somebody has to try in Vegas to carry with them. Australian women are good looking, right? They look like American women. You need to say sorry for no reason. Okay. But yeah, it's the truth, right? If you want to be happy, find the girl that wants to be with you and go with that, go that route, you know. As long as you got feelings for them. I mean, if they're butt ugly and look like my dog, then maybe not, but my dog's cute, you know. But that's the secret. But women all over the world are beautiful. Just telling you. The problem with American women is what's inside of American women. You know, you're referring to like Sydney Sweeney, the chick that's been on the blue jean ads, um, who is very white typical. But you got to remember, not a lot of people in America are white, 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 like you're probably thinking they are. Well, looky who's in the house. The professor. Good morning, family. Whoop whoop. Never get to pick. We are always chosen. See, Craig, professor is right on the money. We are picked by, that's correct. And that's kind of what I mean, right? So I'm assuming Ronald kind of agrees with me. Twist it here. Kind of agrees with me on that one. And I think that's the key. We're picked. And when we're picked, we should just go with it. I tell guys all the time looking to date, look, when you get picked, just go with it. Don't resist it. Just go with it, and you'll be happy. Everything will be fine. Craig saying hello to you. Ronald, how's things going in the Philippines, my good friend? We don't get to see you a whole lot, Ronald. I have Egyptian, orange cat. It's crazy. Oh, yeah, one of those. Oh, that's interesting. That would be crazy. I don't have a cat. I have a dog. I have a wiener dog, a German dog at that. I have a Dash Hound. She's crippled because she got run over by a car, and my other one died earlier this year. But we have a wiener dog, is what we have. But that's what we have to understand. If you want to be happy, the key to women is in her ears, and the key to a man is in his stomach. I don't have to think about that one because I don't know. I got something to say about that in a second. It's all good. Busy, busy, brother. Hey, Craig and HTN. All right. So you might be onto something. The key to women is her ears. If you're meaning they want to be heard, I agree with you. Women like to talk and they want to be listened to. They don't want their problem solved. They want to be listened to. Now, if you're saying the key to a man is his stomach, I disagree with you. The key to a man, and guys, I know if you get offended, you get offended, but the key to a man is sex. That's what it is. You know, if the chick is into you and she rocks your world, you're hooked. I don't care if she can cook or not cook. That's true also. Hey, Ronald, Egyptian pussycats here. Oh my God, Craig, you made me read that out loud. You made me, Craig, the key to a woman is sweet talk. The key to a man is eating the food he loves and filling his stomach. I know that's always been said, but I just totally disagree with that. I don't think that's true, my friend. I don't think, I think women want to be heard, period. I think that's all they care about, is being heard. But I'm telling you, I don't care, look, I don't know. If all of you guys were honest out there, would you prefer a good meal or sex? Take a poll. Would you prefer really good food or good sex? What would you prefer? 99% of the men are going to say sex. Um, because you know what? We can cook our own food and we can run down to the local market and get good food. We can run out to good restaurants and get good food. But it's not quite as easy to get really good sex. So, I mean, you can get sex. You might have to pay 10 or 20 bucks for it, you know. Didn't I tell you that television is a disaster? Yes. There's someone who thinks that all Egyptian cats are hairless. Oh, like in the Hollywood, yeah, the hairless Egyptian cat, like Kat Von D, the tattoo artist has. Yeah, those hairless Egyptian cats. They're ugly. Poor little kittens. Yep, see? You can't believe television, right? You can't believe television, everybody. Craig says both. Ah, Craig, come on, man. You got to be honest. Their ears, if a pimp could talk a woman into selling their body and give him all the money. That's right. See? You know? They want to be heard. They want to feel like they're being taken seriously and cared about. That's what women want. Women want the attention, That's what I think. I think, when men are ready to marry, when the right one comes along that really wants them, they're done. I'm like, okay. It's kind of like when you're car shopping, right? When you stumble across the right car, it's the right time. Yeah, I'm ready to buy. And you stumble across the right car. Yeah, there you go. That's it. Sex can be a meal. Oh my God, Craig. Oh my God. Does it have any calories? Can it be a low diet? A low diet meal? Uh, you know. Yep, but how can you fill up on soup? Woohoo! Oh, you guys are horrible. Horrible human beings on this live stream. All right. I think the man needs food, a meal to have sex. Yeah. Yeah, you got to have the energy, right? You know, you got to have the energy to perform, I guess. But we can perform with a smash. We can go eat a smash burger, and we don't need the woman to cook for us. We can go get a smash burger and be okay. We'll be ready to smash then. So we go get some beef jerky out of the pantry, and we're good. Yeah, we don't have to make things complicated. I mean, look, I've seen it 50 million times, over the years. I've been alive 20 or 30,000 years, and I've seen it 50 million quadrillion times where the right chick the right chick comes across at the right time and boom. Don't say jerk. You guys are jerks. Horrible people. Jerk, 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 jerk. You know. And some marijuana if you want to perform professionally. I don't know about that. I've never heard marijuana enhancing your sexual drive. I actually believe, I'm not an expert, but I believe it does the opposite. Where's um, Galactic Gaming? He's still in here. He knows about dope. I don't think marijuana makes things better. Meth would make it better, or cocaine. But I think alcohol, I mean, alcohol makes the woman prettier, but alcohol is a depressant, and I think marijuana is in the same part as that. Yes, the weed puts you in focus of her needs. Oh, okay. Weed puts me to sleep. Is that her need? Is for me to go to sleep? I think marijuana is a great pain thing, or a great medicine. I really do. But for me, it makes me want to just sit back and kick back and relax and do nothing. So I don't like it for that aspect. Still bad. Uh-oh, somebody's getting excited. I've never had coke, meth, marijuana makes me. Well, maybe paranoid's good for dating. I don't know. What do you guys think? You know, Yusuf is in the house. Hey, dear, excellent haircut. Thank you. I did that today with my dog trimmers. It's summertime and I get hot easy. So I got my dog clippers out and went to town. Thank you for being here, my friend. Good to see you. Thank you for the thumbs up. Hope you're doing well. Well, I don't think you're missing anything if you haven't had meth or coke or anything. Yeah, marijuana doesn't really do anything. I mean, it just, I wish it took the pain away, to be honest. If it took my pain away, man, I'd have a cabinet full of it. Oh, let's see. All right, we'll show that, but we'll probably get beeped. So what he's saying is basically you gotta know how to use it. It's helpful to help the female reach her ultimate goal. We don't have any females in the chat tonight, or I would ask them, say, what is your ultimate goal? I don't think, from talking to women over the years, they always don't think there's an ultimate goal in sex. You know, there's a clear cut goal for men, you know, boom, and we're done. Women's not the same. Ozzy, you need to be commissionary of the weed, no more paranoia. Well, paranoia's not a bad thing, I guess. The weed helps to relax muscles. Yeah, I didn't know that. I've never heard of that, to be honest. But isn't an erection a muscle? I mean, it's your muscle who's being filled up with blood. So I don't know, man. The weed, you look handsome, charming, devastatingly good, hot, tired. Yeah, my wife says that because my beard, you know, has these gray in it, and it has kind of like dark gray, then white gray, and my wife says it makes me look older. So Professor, I actually have some gummies. I've had some butter, but I don't really like the way it makes me feel. Gave one bottle of the gummies to my daughter. Nice. Oh, a connoisseur of the weed. There you go. Yeah, I do. One thing I don't understand is, ooh, there's a plane. I do think what I'll say about this, in my little knowledge, I do think if you are a connoisseur of weed, then you can pick out the strands that do what you need it and want it to do versus a blanket statement about marijuana. I will say that, but I don't know enough to be able to say choose vintage, blah, 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 or that strand, or this or that. I don't know enough about it to say that. But Ronald, I totally agree that if you're really into it and you study it, you can figure out the one that works for you. And every time I've gone and bought the stuff for pain management, it just wants to put me to sleep. They're like, well, but it's killing your pain. I say, yeah, but I don't want to go to sleep. I want to stay awake. You look Aurora. Correct. Visit Thailand. So much choice on every corner shop. Yes, yes, yes. Choice of what, Craig? Ladyboys? Weed's illegal. Is it weed? What about Amsterdam? Amsterdam. I forgot about Thailand. Thailand and the ladyboys. Craig, really? I didn't know weed was legal in Thailand. I really didn't. Um, and he says, maybe I'll go to Thailand for a while and find me a ladyboy with some marijuana. No. Is now? Okay, I didn't know that. I had no clue. I would have, when I think of Asian countries, I don't see, now I see European countries being more progressive when it comes to that, but just making blanket statements, I don't see Asian countries as being that forward thinking about marijuana. I know there's a difference between Western medicine and Eastern medicine, and Eastern medicine can be very beneficial, but I don't know if they see marijuana as an Eastern medicine. I have a friend that is trying to hone in on the right strain. All right. Yeah, that's why you got to be careful in places like Thailand. But look, I saw today. Was it today or yesterday? Man, that dog needs to shut up. I feel like I'm in the Philippines. I saw today where America, the Trump administration, whatever you want to call it, the Food and Drug Administration, everybody, the government is going to be reviewing whether marijuana should be no longer a federal crime in the United States. So apparently they're going to be studying, or they're studying it now, or been doing it, about the legality of marijuana federally. So I think Trump announced that they're going to have something on that in the next month or two. They're putting something together where it sounded like they are open to getting rid of that. You had made the butter for me, but I can only go around anybody when I take. Oh, that's funny. It's a golden ideal. Oh, God, Craig, you're horrible. The dog doesn't like the situation in Thailand. He doesn't. That dog doesn't like anything. But I don't know. That's what they're saying, that there's a good chance that they're looking at whether they're going to decriminalize federally, which in the United States would lead to states like Texas finally making it legal and stuff like that. So maybe it'd cut down. I mean, because I think it's stupid that so many people get arrested for it. Ozzy, just make the joint. It doesn't matter the string. Take a few short drags and wait to see if you can still handle it. Yeah. I need to go back on it, but my wife, guys, to be honest, Lorelei, coming from the Philippines, as you know, she sees it as an evil drug because that's kind of what the Philippines sees, right? So when I've done it here, she gets all bent out of shape. She doesn't like me doing it. Like, oh no, you shouldn't. That's I'm like, eh. But she's been in the doctor's office when my GP, who says, maybe you ought to try it. I would recommend that you try it. I can't give you a prescription because they work for a Catholic hospital or whatever. But she's, I don't know. Should produce should produce sales tax. Yeah, I agree. And maybe that's what they're looking at. Maybe they're going to look at, hey, look, because, Trump is a business guy, whether you hate him or like him, he's still a business guy. And if he can make other people rich and himself rich and everybody rich and the government rich, shit, he's going to do it. If they can figure out how to tax that, which I don't blame them. Here's what I would like. I would feel good if I could go to my doctor and get a real prescription. And then I could go to a pharmacy and buy it. And maybe I'm old. Now, I don't mind going to the dispensaries, but I would feel better that if my insurance would pay for it, if I could go to a pharmacy and get it at a pharmacy, I guess. And my doctor could write the prescription. My doctor, not a doctor I see online, because that's what you do in Arkansas. You got these virtual documents, you just fill out a form, tell them what's wrong with you, and then they call you on the phone and they say, okay, you're approved for medical marijuana. Well, that's all you do. I did a video on it. That's all you do. And then you get a little card with your ID on it that you upload yourself on the internet, and you print it off and you take it in there and they let you in and you get to buy what you want to buy with cash. So, and that's where the tax thing comes in. Trump is probably looking at how much tax dollars, you're right, that we're missing out in, because it's a cash business right now. You can't pay with a debit card. So you can't track it. But I would feel better about that, to be honest, if my regular doctor that I see says, I think here's a prescription, you should have this, and you should be able to go to a real pharmacy, because, like, I agree with you guys talking about the fact that you got to be a connoisseur of medical marijuana to understand it, I would like for pharmacies and for the liturgy to be more clear. I guess, and maybe this is just bad of me, but I don't like going into a dispensary and getting the feeling that the guy I'm talking to is stoned out of his mind and he's recommending what marijuana I should buy. I don't like that. I would actually like to have a medical professional say, we think this strand or strain, whatever you want to call it, would be beneficial to you, not the guy that is eating gummies one after the other while he works. Yeah, but I'm real big on, I just don't want that dude behind the counter. No, you want to try these gummers, man? Yeah. Why? So I would like the medical industry to dig into it a little deeper and say, these are the strands, so you get it right. From my experience, alcohol is for pleasing yourself. I thought that was your hand, Ronald. Weed is for pleasing your partner. I thought, okay. All women appreciate the weed over booze. Oh, I would agree with that. I don't, except for my wife, who thinks it's some kind of gateway drug to heroin or something. Hell, I don't know what she thinks. But coming from the Philippines, she's like she thinks it's shabu. Is it shampoo or shabu in the Philippines? Whatever. That's the bad drug. But I agree with you in general. I think a woman would prefer to have a pothead versus an alcoholic. I really do. Alcoholics are bad. Alcohol consumption, overconsumption, doesn't do the body any good. I don't know enough, and I will say I don't think anything in large quantity is good for you. I don't think eating cheeseburgers is good for you either. I don't think eating 50,000 grapes is good for you. So I don't think smoking a boatload of marijuana is good for you either, or alcohol or anything. Some work their way up to the bottle. Yeah, maybe that's what she thinks. Maybe Lorelai really believes that if I take it, then I'm going to become an alcoholic. Maybe that's what her mindset is, coming from the Philippines. But I need to reapproach it. The problem is it's so damn expensive. I mean, you guys realize how expensive dope is in America? If you go to the dispensary, you get like 12 little gummies for like $80. I mean, that's a lot of freaking money. Memes in the house. Everybody say hello to me. Meme, good to see you. Young Miss Bai is in the house. Good to see you, Miss Bai. Welcome to America. Welcome to my live stream. Welcome. Thank you all. Everybody say hello to each other. So Greg says straight over. Yeah. But it's expensive. I mean, it'd be cheaper to build your own little greenhouse and buy your own marijuana plant. That's correct. And Um, yeah, I don't think we can grow it here. I know some states that you can grow like what, 4 plants, blah blah blah, but I don't think you can grow it here. I don't think, yeah. At least we're not in Texas. I know people that live in Texas. Yeah, I know. I know people that live in Texas that they get their gummies and their stuff shipped in from other states. And I was talking to one of them one time because they asked me, say, hey, my contact is out of the country. Can you go to, because in Missouri, um, you don't got to have a card. You can just go up and buy in Missouri recreationally. You can just buy it. And they're like, hey, can you ship me that? And I'm like, what do you mean ship it to you? I'm sitting there going, oh shit, I'm going to go to prison for smuggling drugs in the mail. And what I found out was you can ship it in FedEx or UPS, but not the United States Postal Service because it's federal. But they have people in other states that buy it and FedEx it to them, and they don't have any problems. They've been doing it for a long time. The people that live in Texas, that's how they get their weed. Welcome to the sausages. Yes. But I don't know what states allow you to grow it in. I know, I think Missouri does, because hell, if you can just walk into any dispensary and buy it, I'm kind of feeling they don't care if you grow it. I think I've told you guys all the story that when I first got married to Lorelai, I had a heart doctor. His name was Stoopy. Dr. Stoopy was his name. Now, I was still teaching, and I was having heart issues. I would go to him, and he would sit there and talk to me on and on about his kids, about what kind of scotch he really liked to drink, and his farm up in Missouri. And then when I got married to Lorelai figured didn't like it. I was having a lot of problems, and he kept saying, "Well, just come back in 3 months and we'll see." We went to a different heart doctor, and they threw me in the hospital meeting because I was having a heart attack, or having heart failure. But it turned out a year later, he gets arrested in Missouri for growing marijuana. Now, this has been a long time ago. So he's got a pot farm growing on his 20 acres up in Missouri. So I'm like, no freaking wonder all he could talk about was the scotch that he liked and other crap. Thunder's in the house. There is what's going on tonight, man. There is. Same old, same old. Pat Philippines Dream is in the house. Pat has started a YouTube channel, guys. He's just starting, so give him some time to get things up. And thank you for being in, everybody. Thank you for the thumbs up, subscribing to the channel. In Vermont and New York, it's legal to grow your own pot and smoke it recreationally. Okay, I didn't know that. All right. Yeah, I don't know which states. I don't know all the rules about all the states. It's good to know. I know. I think Oklahoma has relaxed laws. Colorado, obviously. But the big key is this: if they get rid of it's illegal federally, then that should solve the problem of people like in Texas driving up to Kansas or Colorado, buying it and bringing it back and getting in trouble, because you can't bring it across the state lines in Texas. If you get caught, you're screwed, right? And I know they've changed the rule in Texas that if you have less than 4 ounces or something, that is or 4 grams, then it's a misdemeanor. But still, you get in trouble. Washington, California, Colorado, Utah, New Jersey, and Oregon. Huh. No, I saw it, but I haven't got caught up on it. I didn't. It was always pending all day, so I haven't seen a synopsis of what the meeting was. Did anything come out of the meeting worth a while, or just a normal crap? Henry saying hello to Pat. Pat saying hello to Craig and Ronald and everybody else. So, yeah, I don't know. What about, Pat, what about your state? Do you know the marijuana rules or laws in your state? Oh, Rich one is pregnant. At least one got shafted. I agree with that. Nothing official, but supposedly they've agreed to a ceasefire as long as Ukraine agrees to it. All right, that's good. That's good. I don't know if it's going to hold. I think both of those countries are idiots. And I don't think Ukraine wants a ceasefire because they want our money. They want us to keep giving them money. They want the money from Europe. I think their leader is getting rich off of the war, and he doesn't want it to end because then his cash flow will dry up. PAX, it was a stomach turning and disgusting. The meeting was, yeah, I didn't see anything about the meeting today. I wasn't able to watch anything. Well, I'm going to have to head out and take everybody down. All right, Henry, take care. I think they're working on that here, Brother David. My sister knows more on that. Oh, yeah, him and the posse getting rich. Yes, that's what I think. See HTRN from the professor. Yeah, I don't know. I'll try to get a recap tomorrow. You know what I mean? Try to see if there's anything worth, But until it is, I'm almost of the opinion that you should just let them fight it out. Give none of them any more money or weapons and just let them fight it out. Pat saying hello to you, Ronald. Coffee time. Coffee. Coffee. I don't have any coffee. Plus, it's 90 degrees out here, Craig. What the hell are you doing drinking coffee when it's 90 degrees, man? You got to be bonkers. No coffee. We're trying to lay off bad stuff again. Coffee, soda. I had a bunch of lab work done today, and some of my lab numbers are not good. My kidney function is I had a kidney stone a couple weeks ago, and I told the doctors, we ran some tests, and my kidney failure level is started to creep up. So, and that kind of goes with the porphyria about the being allergic to the sun thing. So it's poison. My kidney's starting to get poisoned again. So my kidney failure number, I can't remember what it's called, is going up. Creatine level or something. So I definitely got to lay off the sodas. But hey, Pat's Philippine Dreams. Today I saw the video of ranking mob bosses' power. Really? The mob bosses, we still have those? Can I be one? Where did I rank? I want to be the mob boss of the PAC, the PAC. Can I be the mob boss of the PAC? Do we still have like mobs like we used to have mobs, or are they just more gangs? Mike buzzed me yesterday. He was surprised that I changed my name for my YouTube. But it's a good name, because now people can just call you PPD in the house. And it's your dream. It's your channel. You call it anything you want. But I think it's a good title. You be the boss and I'll be your muscle. All right, man. Do I got to pay you? I tell you what you do. You just, give me 50% of what you collect and then we're good. And you just do anything you want. So I give you autonomy to be my muscle. Just give me 50%. See, that's nice of me. Most places, most crime bosses probably be 10% that you'd get. See how generous I am? I'm a lazy crime boss. I just want the money to come rolling in. Rolling, rolling, rolling in. Let it roll in. Yeah, I'm still fundraising to buy my wife a house, if anybody hasn't heard that spiel yet. I think Meme's here. Meme? Hey, I'm a poor old man, so I'm trying to raise money through my PayPal account to buy my wife a house. So, just wanted to make sure everybody knew that. So, so whatever money you collect on my behalf as my muscle, then we'll throw that into the house fund for Lorelei. We're in Florida. Well, we're in Arkansas. You're in Florida, right? Am I following the stream? But look, distance means nothing. Look, right now we've talked to people from Europe, Germany, South America, Philippines, Canada, Texas. So look, we don't need to be close to each other, man. My PayPal's there. You just go out there and be the muscle and send me that 50%, and hell, once we get the bank, we'll come down for a visit. Central Florida. We know Central Florida very, 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 very well. I lived in Fort Myers years ago, and then we've also lived down in Cocoa Beach. So we love Florida. We just don't like the cost of living there. Well, get it done. Get her done. Get her done. I'm going to put a proclamation out as leader of the pack. Get her done. Then maybe I can afford to buy my own marijuana, because it's expensive here in Arkansas. I'm just telling you. Because we only have a very few dispensaries here. And that's the other thing. If they're going to do this, they need to open up to where there's more, like I said, the pharmacies. All right. So Pat's got a funeral. Tomorrow, my stepfather's sister's funeral. All right. Yeah, Lorelai did her aunt's funeral the other night here in America. Her aunt died in the Philippines. So we did a virtual thing like this for the funeral. So, and that went pretty good. Lorelai's doing pretty good with it. They're running a monopoly. They are. And if we defederalize it, I guess is the right terminology, then maybe that'll go away, collect federal tax, and, it can change all of that up. But right now, they're raking in the dough. I mean, haven't you seen Tulsa King? You see how much Sylvester Stallone's raking in, right? I mean, my God, I want to be Sylvester Stallone and Tulsa King and rake in that money. Money, money, money. Money, money, money. So, step in. I got you, Pat. Are you going to the funeral then, Pat? Is that what you're doing? Tomorrow's Saturday here. I don't know what we're doing. Lorelai will want to go somewhere, so I'll have to figure out something to keep her entertained. All right, that's good. Well, we sent money for Lorelai's aunt's funeral and to one of her good cousins. She only has one good cousin. So to help pay for things. So we got that done. We did that early. So hopefully all of that's, I think Lorelai's doing pretty good about it, but she's struggling a little bit with it. So Cinnamon's in the house. Hey, how are you? Good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for the thumbs up, subscribing to the channel, and being a part of our pack, Filipino-American couple. I'm doing all right. A little tired, a little back achy, sore back today, but I'm doing good otherwise. Cinnamon, say hello to Pat, and everybody else that's blue. They all have channels. Please subscribe to all of them. You guys go back up there and find people and click on it, and it'll take you to their channel. You can go watch some of their videos. Make a comment about how handsome I am when I wear a hat like this. And then subscribe to the channel. So yeah, it's good to see you. I know. We were talking about that earlier. I don't like being bare-faced, but I've gotten to the point I don't like how white gray my beard is. It makes me look really old. So I gotta. So now I'm trying this stubble. I'm trying a stubble thing. You can see that big scar where I got killed that one time. But yeah, so I'm trying the stubble effect. Hello, Pat. So yeah, I know. Hey, Cinnamon, good to see ya. But yeah, plus it's cooler out now that it's hot. But I don't know what happened. I used to have a nice beard, a nice blonde, reddish beard. And now if I let it grow out, it's spotty with white hair and gray hair. I look like, I don't know, a not a Dalmatian, a Doppel wiener dog. Can't make up the color. Or a calico cat. I look young in age, and that's what's important. Is that what you're trying to say? Even though I feel old, I definitely feel old today, guys. You look at 43. That's good, Pat, because technically I'm 34, so, technically. But we're all getting old. We can't do a lot about it, right? We just kind of got to roll with it. Nothing we can do. Well, all right, friends, I think it's starting to get hot out here for me. I mean, it's cooling off, but it's hot. I've been out here a long time. Yes, I'm 34 years old. How old do you think I was? Come on now. I look young. Yeah, I feel like 85. I tell people I feel like I'm 80 and I got ran over by a semi truck. I feel like an 80-year-old that got ran over by a semi truck. I don't think that's good, but that's how I feel most days. And I know the health issues are going to start kicking in over the next couple of years. So we're going to have some serious health issues kick up over the next couple of years. I know how my body is. I've had 8 good years since my coma, but now that my blood is becoming poisoned again, it's going to take a few years. Don't get me wrong, but in maybe another 6 years, I will look like shit. I promise you. 43 or 42, that's good. I like those answers. You know, nah, you're all right. It's all right. I lie about my age all the time. Nobody knows my real age. I lie about it, and I'm happy to lie about my age. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. Some days I'm 72, some days I'm 52, 42, 32. You just never know. Depending on the day of the week is what age you can be. But, I'm young in youth. Enjoy it. That's right. Young in heart. That's it. So, all right, my friends, as you can tell, I'm starting to get hot. Bugs are starting to come in. And before the mosquitoes come and carry me away tonight, we're going to wind this down. But Cinnamon, Pat, Ronald, Craig, all of my good buddies and friends in here. Thunder, appreciate you. Our good friend Ozzy, our friend from Egypt is in the house. Even some of the trolls I had earlier, Henry. Good to have you all here. Philippine Bye over in the Philippines. Craig, did I say Craig's name? Did I say Professor? That's all right. We appreciate everybody coming in tonight. So we do thank you. Ronald, we do appreciate you, my friend. It's good to see you. We haven't got to talk to you in quite a while. So I'm glad you're doing well in the Philippines. And, we'll talk to you soon, buddy. Everybody take care. Cinnamon, goodbye. See you next live. That's right. We'll be alive again. Maybe I'll look a day older then. Whoop, whoop. Take care, guys.